to the cloud. Okay, there we go.
Okay, let me share. I just let me share the screen so we can see the. So I only put the two issues. One is the issue basically is the poll created for the budget spending. So this link is Amelia. I mean the spreadsheet Amelia created for the brainstorm or how to spend this budget. So how much do we have? Do we have to spend this year?
Assume 30K. It'll be slightly less than, yeah, it'll be slightly less than that. But assume that for now.
So Paul, do you have a presentation to present?
I do not have a presentation, but Clark, who's on the call from the marketing team, is able to talk to what we would have put into a presentation if there was one.
I can do that. So 30K is a lot to spend on swag. I think I will hope that we can agree on that. I was looking at the program plan for MicroProfile, and it looks like for 2021 there were a number of things that were set out as marketing goals. There was a website goal around adding video. There was discussion about SEO type plans. There's a content marketing goal around creating guides and how-tos, use cases, things like that. So the things that we had talked about, what can we accomplish in this final quarter? And we felt like we could probably put together a good SEO plan and start implementing that. We felt like from a content marketing standpoint, we could, there is on the website right now a white paper. It's from 2019. We felt like we could probably work with your team and your experts and update this white paper. Might be a good project, and adding some video to help support the white paper. So those are just some ideas we had, and then certainly you've got your champions program where the swag comes in. We can help with some of those things as well. We talked about perhaps doing a nice big run of swag and send it out to the committee members that they can give out as needed. Was there anything else we talked about, Paul, that you can think of? I think that was pretty much the main things we had discussed. Do any of these things resonate with you folks?
Yeah, I mean, the easy, I don't mean to necessarily work, but SEO seems like a no-brainer. Okay. I think the swag sounds like a no-brainer. The white paper refresh, yeah, we'd have to take a look at that and what it would take to update it. That was created by a community member. So I kind of wouldn't mind offering that community member or the community in general kind of the first right of refusal to kind of give that an update.
Okay.
That off the top of my head are my thoughts. I don't know anyone else.
Website.
I feel the same about the white paper. I think you should talk to the, excuse me? Internet bad.
Yeah, I think the white paper maybe is kind of might be complicated. Like people will start, why is that? I mean, we choose that to pay. What about others? I think yeah, Swag website, the all kind of, as John said, is a kind of no-brainer. But we need to be careful about white paper. I think that person is kind of the, maybe I think we should reach out to see whether he wants kind of do an update and etc. Because this is all open source community. The other thing is I'm wondering whether we sponsor some conferences and etc. So what about the conference sponsorship?
I mean, does it bring a lot of value to sponsor? Can you guys hear me? My internet's terrible today.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I think, I mean, we've been talking about sponsorships a lot today with Jakarta and marketing and other times. And I mean, have we felt that it brings a lot of value these days since it's all virtual?
So as a foundation, we are continuing to support quite a number of virtual events. In fact, we are sponsoring KubeCon, and we have involved MicroProfile as one of the sponsors of a what we're calling Cloud Native for Eclipse Foundation Day in conjunction with KubeCon. Emily, you're speaking at that event, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of those, but there aren't a lot. We're in the fourth quarter, and if we are going to do further sponsorships, we're running out of time. So
Yeah, I guess it matters, well, what conferences are in Q4 also, and if they bring the right value or not.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
So I know there's a TDC is in the like fourth quarter. It said it's one of the largest conference. I can't remember in which region, so we could look into it. So
There's
it's
JConf in December.
JConf, okay.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
JConf.dev in Chicago.
oh yeah. We could. I think that would be one of the good conference we could sponsor.
Okay. I think Jakarta was considering joining. I will double check with Shabnam on that.
We could sponsor Jakarta 1.
I thought about the same thing. You know, it's a very funny. It's a few minutes ago. Oh, I thought, oh yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
That's implicitly we sponsored, right?
So what about any other content pieces? So the program plan does specifically mention more content. What would you like to see? If we're not going to update the white paper, or maybe we still are, that's a conversation you folks need to have. Are there other content pieces we want to try to focus on?
That's a tough question, because I mean, most of our content is always written randomly by the community. So everyone has different interests. And it's kind of I wouldn't say random, but the type of content that comes depends on the community and what's going on with them.
Okay.
Right. The other, yeah, I think this one we need to kind of really plan really carefully. Otherwise, maybe we cause a negative impact. The other thing is what I'm thinking, even though we say, okay, the swag kind of could be something is probably won't spend much. What do you think is we could also spend for next year's swag? So basically stock up things.
Well, and we talked about that. So yeah, I think we could certainly spend a large amount on swag and distribute that to the steering committee members, and and you've got swag for next year. If that is what makes sense. I guess my question would be, does that help you accomplish your goals for 2021? Or are there other ways that we should be looking to spend this money to make sure that we are accomplishing the things that the working group has set out as strategic goals?
So as this is a kind of brainstorm, I have been thinking about this, like the JAX is a kind of the, also we all know JAX kind of all the voluntary kind of the entities. So it's could we kind of the sponsor something, I mean, to the JAG so that they can promote a MicroProfile and etc. Basically we'll put a port, say, okay, for example, like Dublin JAG, basically award some money. Basically they have the, and then they come up with some program how to promote a MicroProfile or something like that. I don't know whether like that will be kind of.
So basically put together a program of some kind that encourages members, adopters, whoever to promote MicroProfile. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah.
So that would include some kind of probably a written document, maybe even a video of some kind that helps promote it, and then swag to send out as an incentive.
Yeah. So basically, we could choose 3 winners. For example, the best, if they, we should define the kind of challenges, etc. And then like we can choose like a top 3, and then we award them with some swag or some basically it's some money or something like that, and then they can spend on their activities.
Yeah, I like the idea of swag, tied to MicroProfile talks. I like that idea a lot. I mean, just cash money is probably not a good idea.
That seems strange. Yeah.
But yeah, with swag, sometimes it's, gift cards to.
Oh yeah, gift card. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, well, the only problem is it becomes, it's essentially cash. I started thinking, gift cards for like, a cloud vendor so that they could test their MicroProfile deployments or something. But that gets into too much vendor stuff, I think. I think, I like the idea of swag.
So back to the SEO discussion. I know that when we get the recommendations for improving SEO, that a lot of those recommendations are going to be built around content, keyword usage, hashtags, things like that. But it's all going to be about the content we create. So how do we best implement? Let's say we do have this SEO plan. How do we then turn that into actionable content pieces that will actually help drive SEO?
See, that's maybe where it might get a little complicated because, like I said, we don't really ever tell or that I know of, we don't really tell the community which topics we want to write about and kind of direct them a direction. Normally it comes from just the community and what they're working on. So to direct someone to do it, or I mean, I guess if you're saying spending money on content, that means hiring someone. But I think the whole thing that with MicroProfile that we kind of stay really close to is that so I mean, please, anyone jump in if they feel I'm off for what we've been following for the last, I don't know how many years now. So I like the idea of trying to figure out what topics are popular right now, or have a high search rate, and then focus on that. But I don't know how we would implement it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I stuck a couple of things in here around, we could maybe do SEO around MicroProfile talks,
Mm-hmm.
right? With community members that are going to be talking at conferences on, pick a MicroProfile topic. It'd have to be about MicroProfile, not a product specifically, and toss in some MicroProfile things. And we could build SEO around that, right? So that's one idea. So it's not new content necessarily that we generate, but it is new content. Another is we have MicroProfile 5 coming out, and we can build some SEO and messaging around that.
I like that idea. We can also do some PR around that. Is that going to have enough of an interest that we should do a press release and start having our PR folks talking to editors?
Good question. It's a possibility. It's kind of like Jakarta 9,
Mm-hmm.
in that there's no new features per se, but it's all about taking a step towards moving forward, right? So with Jakarta 9, it was a move to the Jakarta namespace, right? It's an important step that set the stage for Jakarta 10. For us, it's the exact same thing. Our specs are now going to be relying on the Jakarta namespace. The Jakarta specs, right? It'll be the Jakarta 9 specs, right? So our specs are still org.dot Eclipse up MicroProfile, but they'll be depending on the Jakarta namespace specs for those specs that we rely on in Jakarta, right? So it does bring better alignment with Jakarta, which is probably an important message, and it sets the foundation for letting us switch our gears. And I kind of stuck this in the working group thread about the program plan, where I think next year we really want to focus on less on just becoming a working group and more on getting back to our roots with innovating and delivering 3 releases per year. So MicroProfile 5 sets the foundation for that, I think. Right. So those are the 2 messages, probably Jakarta alignment and setting the foundation for innovation, I guess, in 2022. Brainstorming.
So it seems that could be at least a mini campaign of some kind. If nothing else, just the social media campaign where we highlight those 2 primary messages. Hey, we've got MicroProfile 5 coming out. Here's why it matters.
Yeah.
So the other thing is for this campaign, does it need to be like depend on the MicroProfile 5 finally released? Because the reason I'm asking is there's a chance may not be able to release at the end of this year. Maybe it's pushed to January time.
And I think if the messaging, that's a good question, Emily. I think if the messaging is strong enough, I think we can tease the market with, hey, this is coming, and watch for it, right? Even if it doesn't get released in Q4, we can start messaging it.
Yeah, as long as we say this is upcoming. Yeah, I think I agree. I think I totally agree with John said. This is a kind of doesn't seem like we have done much update. However, this is a very important step, and for us to set this the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry, I was taking the note. I missed. You had said something about if it's not done this year. I kind of missed what the context for that comment was.
Oh, Emily had just asked if it's not released in this year, is there still value in starting to promote it in Q4?
Yeah, I don't think we have a problem with releasing MP5 this year, unless, Emily, you think, and I don't want to turn this into a technical call, unless you unless you think we're going to do a 180 on metrics in open tracing.
No, the thing is, the thing is kind of the compatible implementation. So at the moment, there's a chance we may not be able to certify against MicroProfile 5 without the compatible implementation. We can't really release.
Okay.
So basically, Open Liberty changes the implementation. Yeah, I will discuss more details tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we just hit kind of just something come up like in the last couple of days.
All right. Okay.
So the program plan mentions video as well. What when that was put into the program plan, what was the thought process around what kind of video assets were you thinking?
I don't quite remember. I don't know if Tatiana
I don't even remember the topic
or Ryan.
Up, yeah.
Well, it seems to me that there might be some video materials like talking with like customers, some like interview, like some discussions. This is in some way in line with this, that was you're telling like before, that there might be some kind of like panel discussions even that can be then used also as content in future. So based on these kind of videos, there might be also some articles published in future and so on and so forth. Also, there might be some coverage of some test cases or some stuff that people are doing with the help of MicroProfile. So some coverage of some instructions how to do something, and in this way, yeah.
Okay.
Considering other activities like paid activities, I mean, there might be considered also some paid publications in the media, maybe adding MicroProfile content, some kind of article or profile of the company, like not of the company, but of the group with the main ideas, for example, in the D-Zone reports or in some publications where you need to pay for them in order to get like more coverage in the media and more coverage among the developers community.
Okay.
We could consider an auto demo. Isn't that what those?
What is the auto demo?
I think, you know, that's where you have those like 2 or 3 minute marketing clips. You know, that says gives you a here. Let me see if I can give you. I'm just gonna do a quick search. If you go to autodemo.com, you know, once you see it, you'll recognize them. It's just a very short 2 to 3 minute video that you know, defines a problem, defines how you solve that problem in a cartoonish or animated way. I don't want to say cartoonish, in an animated way. And then, you know, here's how you get started. And they're typically like 2 minutes long.
That sounds nice.
Is that something that we could identify a series of topics? So turn it into a longer term program. So we kick it off this year, and then in the coming year, we do more and more of those.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so we use, you know, Red Hat uses it. Even on that front page right there on autodemo.com, you can see there's a Red Hat in the lower right-hand corner right now. And so, yeah, you can create a series. It just comes down to, what you want those to be. And you got to be really smart about how you leverage that. That's the thing, because I wasn't involved in the creation, so I don't know what the costs are up top. But I do know that it's enough of an investment where you will definitely want to, use the SEO to point to it, right? Maybe get it on the home page, the most recent or the most generic, instructive one, maybe be on the home page so people see it, they can click on it and get an animated version of what the home page might be talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got to be tied into to our SEO programs. And, typically, people like to consume content in different ways. So it's always nice to have something that's written as well as a video, and, that complement each other when we put together an asset.
Right.
Or a program. So, the foundation is actually looking to do a lot more video in 2022 as well. We see that as being an important resource for our members and potential members.
Right.
So how much is for the auto demo? Is it very expensive or just a fraction?
I'll go ask our marketing guy. Right. Yeah. I can't remember it, but it's not going to be cheap.
Yeah, right? I found a here. Let me just put this in. This is old, but hang on. It looks like it starts at about $10,000.
Right, and that sounds about right.
And that's just for 2, I think.
And that's why I was saying you really want to leverage the heck out of it.
Right. Okay.
And that's an old blog post, so it's probably gone up.
Especially that everything's online now. Yeah.
Right. That's really like okay, 25,000, 4 to 5 videos. Okay.
So it sounds like it's about 5K video is what they plan.
Oh yeah, that's right. So we could
and it takes some upfront investment. In other words, you've got to set up a storyboard basically, right? And you walk through it. They'll create an animation. You review it and do some back and forth, and there you go. But the storyboarding up front is the most important piece.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how long will this, since MicroProfile is changing so much all the time, how long would this 5 say? I'm guessing you have to buy 2 because they start with 10, so they're probably only doing packages.
The first one could be very generic.
Updated,
Well, the first one could be very generic, right? And so that could have a long life to it, because you could just talk about MicroProfile, its impact and the value to the user, right?
I could even do that for MicroProfile when it comes to like a 2-minute video or 1-minute video with a voiceover and animation. It's not too difficult.
Yeah. We could do every single one of these ourselves, right? But we do have to.
You can pay me $10,000 and I'll do it.
Well, my recommendation is to provide the steering committee chair a salary. But okay, that one went flat.
I gotcha. I was on mute. I'm sorry.
So for this auto demo, is that kind of they also they basically come up with the video plus they are going to publicize in all kinds of very active website or reach a lot of audience. Is that also yeah, that's for sure. Ryan, you can create a video. However, how can we get the word to the bigger audience? So that's a bigger task.
Well, we haven't any Google ads. We haven't touched really trying to do any really targeted SEO. Really looking at our website and changing some headlines around H1s and adjusting that stuff. We haven't really pushed certain things on Twitter. So is my internet still okay?
You were breaking up quite a bit.
Broke up a bit, but
Oh, sorry. So, I mean, there's ways to push it. I don't know, after you get a video made, they don't push it for you. So we would still have to do it on our own.
Right. I see. They are only making videos, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why we have to build the programs that work in concert with this. So we've got to build up the SEO. As Ryan mentioned, we haven't done any targeted advertising. We should probably look at that, to help promote these assets.
Hello, everyone. This is Amelia. I joined a little bit late. As I said before, I wasn't sure I could make this call. Ryan, I heard the last part there. We're talking about making videos for the MicroProfile project. Is that correct?
It was one of the topics that came up that, could be something for Q4 or in the future to help promote MicroProfile.
Mm-hmm. And who will make those videos?
That was the discussion going on. There's one company we looked at just to get an idea of what companies actually charge, or we would go to the community or me or whoever and decide which direction we wanted to go with.
Okay, so we're not being asked to consider just one service, correct?
No, we're just throwing it out there, going over it all.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are brainstorm as
I think it's great.
Yes,
I think it's great. Have you seen what I sent this morning before my meetings? I said something super important. The budget we created this year is about thinking about community, right? We have about 25,000 for swag and very little left over for anything else. It's about 36,000, and that includes the buffer and infra. We took away, if Tatiana is here, she remembers Google Ads, and maybe for 2022, we can insert it back because that goes with the SEO. So my question is, my question is, for 2021, do we want to undertake such a huge brainstorming, or do we want to minimize it so that we just think for the last 2 years we have innovated barely nothing? The videos will be a waste of money because there has been very little technical innovation since we were forced into correcting the APIs and protecting the thing. So my suggestion is, if you have not seen the email I sent, have you at least checked this document in this link and figured out if we can match 2021 budget? We said we will utilize it to thank our community. Everyone, even though we have not done technology, quote unquote, innovation, MicroProfile has still been pushed globally. And there are those communities that we need to focus at 25K. Not in creating a video. And I have no idea how we deviate onto what we wished to be for 2021, to reset. It's great to do the brainstorming for 2022 on all these options, but for 2021, with 3 months to go, where do we want to take it? And to think that we think it's okay to keep the money for ourselves and the level of videos and highlighting how cool MicroProfile is, it seems way off of where we are today.
I think you missed the conversation we had earlier. So although we haven't got new specs, although we haven't got new specs, however, we spend a lot of time on the IP, and also we spend a long conversation regarding alignment with Jakarta 9.1. So although it's from the kind of the box point of view, it seems like, we didn't add any APIs. However, we established a very stable foundation, so that John mentioned like in 2022, basically once we have this MicroProfile 5 off the ground, and then we can quickly innovate on top of it. But at the moment, we are trying to lay the ground. The foundation is very important. We could, for the video, is kind of if we focus on generic stuff, focus on the mission, what a MicroProfile is for. Although kind of we have been doing MicroProfile for a few years, however, every time we go to talk to people, and a lot of people haven't ever heard of MicroProfile. So I think it's a kind of generic video and etc. is still, I mean, helpful. Yeah, and
Emily.
then I think swag is another great area we can spend. But people, overall kind of feedback is, can we use the majority of the budget on the swag?
Yes. So let me go. And Emily, I thank you so much for the summary. I joined like 38 minutes after, so I appreciate it. Can you go to tab JAGs, please?
Top.
Who is sharing? Yeah, who is sharing the screen?
I am sharing. So
yeah,
which one you want?
JAGs. The tab is called JAGs under the same document you're sharing at the moment. So
at the bottom, Emily. Bottom tab.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
There you go.
The another sheet. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much. So I understand what you said, Emily. It's totally, you're correct. When I think about what we currently have in the most effective for 2021 on expenditures, I'm not sure if we are forced to spend the budget. I don't think we are. But here, I have not even listed because I had no time. The JAGs, all the JAGs from each country, but these are the 5 continents, if you go scroll down, and all the communities who are working on MicroProfile. If we focus on the community that is currently adopting, contributing, and implementing the technology, is going to be much more effective than creating videos, at least for this year. The reason why we need to be super careful about how we communicate currently is, like Ryan explained, we need to set up different things in the MicroProfile website. That means how we used to do things before need to be adjusted in the way of farther reach. We are friends, MicroProfile is friends with global news, companies. We call it InfoQ, DZone. We can have a DZone document, either free or $5,000 instead of a white paper. We can do, there are like the major technical publications that we could reach out either free or pay to them, and that will be with the help of the Eclipse Foundation. But we need to be careful because we are not there yet, and especially because of the technology we have not created. So the recommendation with the email that I was talking about and what we discussed when creating the budget for the 25K in swag is to thank the 2 years, for 2 years of waiting and seeing the MicroProfile will get to provide more innovation. And these are the JAGs, or at least the countries where the most active JAGs are located. If you go to Africa and Asia, we have in Japan, for example, we have the largest Japan JAG that has its own conference. I was there 2 years ago, and more than 50% of all the sessions in the one-day events were about MicroProfile, right? And we only brought 30 t-shirts. And I make sure that a few of the speakers had a few for good questions. Imagine if all these JAGs have at least 100, quote unquote, is made like the numbers of swag that they will get, t-shirts, not jackets, will be based on membership and what they are doing, right? Not everyone has events. And then also we're talking about not only swag contributions, but also sponsorships, right? That would be the easiest way for us to invest 2021, right?
Yeah, actually we discussed that. We discussed the JAG. see swag with a jug.
Yeah, so exactly.
We discussed a big portion going to swag, but we're also putting out ideas. What else possibly we do that bring just as equal value at the end of the year? So it's a brainstorming session, and maybe a great idea pops up, but definitely swag was discussed and is a high priority and was agreed during this call.
Okay, good,
yeah,
good.
So
mhm.
we have like we discussed this with the swag for the jugs, and then it's you said it's kind of around 25K. However, we have 30K to spend, so it's
36.
I think it's
36K.
So we still have 9K to spend. I think for the
Yes.
SEO and for others, we still kind of actually is that still quite interested in the video. Probably not ask for auto demo to do the video. Maybe kind of we work together with Ryan. Maybe we come up with a video. The other thing is I also like the idea about the promotion. Like could have done is with a release was a presentation or something like that. For the MicroProfile 5. So that will send a strong message about the ecosystem between Jakarta and MicroProfile. I think we can also consider some other like smaller things so we can spend money.
The content, okay. So for the content, we have infra that we have spent already this year. And I think if we what is it? With the content creation, we need to be very careful. Here I only see the white paper, but I don't see this on, which is super popular and it has a massive distribution of, thousands and thousands of subscribers. So I would like for us to add this on, which is much more efficient than a white paper.
I think this was brought up already also on the call.
I was already talking about that.
Oh, okay. Hey, Tatiana.
Hi, Emily.
Welcome back. Yes. So, but it's not here. Do you see? In the content, I only see white paper. But we need to actually deviate from white paper. And clearly it needs to be white paper, technical white paper, not a marketing sales communication. That is a waste of money, right? So this on.
We're just discussing the white paper is just giving it a refresh, not a new white paper.
Okay. Oh yeah, by the way.
That's why it says refresh on there, white paper refresh.
And unfortunately, this call is recorded, Amelia, so you can go back and listen to the recording at your availability.
Yes. Hey, Paul. With the white paper, I spoke with Lars a few months ago, and he said, and we can quote it here, that he would love to do the refresh for MicroProfile 2022. Like maybe he start whenever he's ready. But he said he would love to do the white paper refresh whenever we are ready for it, and he will love to do what we did in the last time. And clearly, the white paper is non-paid, created with a few members of the community. He really liked it, so he's excited to start whenever we're ready. And what I told him is, we have been working so hard on creating the working group and do not have updates in the technology just yet. But when we're ready, we will pull him in via the Git issues and also through mailing list, public mailing list. So FYI, for the person that is writing here, to say Lars is like super happy to do the update. It will not be on us alone to do it.
Maybe it's kind of when 5 is out and then kind of gets a Lars to directly refresh with the 5. So I think Amelia is we discussed all this. I think how many minutes? We only have 10 more minutes. So it's like this is a brainstorm and etc. And then it's kind of sounds like we spend a lot on swag. We could spend a kind of major portion on swag. And then is I think SEO is quite a good thing. For the white paper, maybe we can get it for free. for the D-Zone blogs and etc., do we need to spend any money on it?
For the blogs, no.
Not for the blogs, for the research to be added, like the profile of MicroProfile or something like that, or the article inside the some kind of research document or guide or whatever. It's usually paid one, and the price depends. Like this can be like 5,000, this can be 20,000.
Yeah, usually, and Tatiana, you're exactly correct. I think we should document how this one works. We have friends that are authors of the DSON, but if we wanted a paper of 8 pages or 10, whatever, they have a template, that would be 5K. And the process is super easy, and the level that the project or the company creates the project, and it goes through the review, and then the DSON team goes through it and sets everything up for us. And what the coolest thing about maybe investing the 5K, not this year, clearly, it needs to be very technical and very strong, maybe in 2022, is that we will be listed when anything gets sent to the subscribers. MicroProfile will always be highlighted within the documentation that is shared, even if it's not about MicroProfile. And I think in the content update here, we should prioritize DSON publishing, and that will be about 5K.
I think since we have produced quite a lot, the blogs, etc., is that possible? Like this year, we just like almost like a guinea pig, try it out. Like we can like maybe call for papers or something like that to see whether like we can get a good quality paper, and then it's get to into DSON and spend. Is it possible to spend not 5K, maybe it's kind of a few hundred or something like that, and try it out to see.
They are really fixed on their prices, but we can ask.
Oh, 5K.
Yeah,
okay.
5K is like, I would recommend 5K because we have done it. And Tatiana, I imagine you have done it as well in the company.
Yeah, we had something like more expensive as well, and for 5K in the past.
And it's really good. But I believe that we don't have the technology, the strength in the technology to write a document and back it with 5K. It will be a waste of money. That will be for 2022, definitely, right?
That depends though. Depends whether we have I mean,
after 5, we're going into technology. No more infra. We will go back into technology. Correct, John? You're here, correct?
That's my hope.
Exactly. I like, the most important thing that John did when we got Sharon's, hey, let's get ready for 2022, is we need to innovate and have releases every 3 times a year. That means that new technology is being created. And that is what MicroProfile is known for. No more study and these things.
So I apologize. My home Wi-Fi just completely died. And it's when I dropped off, we're talking about really looking at swag as a large portion of the budget. Is that correct?
Yes, we allocated 25K to swag.
So how much swag
have
is
a
that?
9K.
Can you go into the swag into the budget? Not that one. The main budget for the project. There is Excel. It's under Excel. It's
Which
a spreadsheet. One? The spreadsheet that says the budget, and it has all the different tabs that we worked on.
Is the link in here?
It's under. Let me try to find it really quickly. It's on the website. Emily, go under the website and the working group page, please.
Oh, that's a good idea on how to get there. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Super quickly. Go there, go down to budget planning, click it.
Hey, Clark, feel free to comment as well based on your experience.
Yeah.
And here, project plan, and then it says a spreadsheet. There you go, budget spreadsheet. That's how we get.
So the question I would ask the members here is, does 25K in swag accomplish what you want to accomplish this year?
To say thank you to the community, yes. And if we had more money, we're hoping to get out of the 40K that were allocated to trademark program plan back a bunch of that money so that we can have the surplus to continue to buy swag and thank our community that has been patient with us. Is still talking about MicroProfile and implementing it and thinking and saying how amazing the community is and stuff like that.
How many t-shirts does $25,000 equal?
Let us see. Here, go into
I
swag,
hope
please.
a ton.
Here. Swag tag. If you go down at the bottom, Emily, where you see the swag tag. No,
The tabs, yeah.
tabs, yes, there. So here we have the pricing, right? And we can just calculate extremely easy. The hoodies should be strategic for committers and most active contributors. But the t-shirts, these are the pricing, right? And if we go in one jug gets a minimum of 100 t-shirts, imagine that. That is a little bit over 1,000. Then we include global shipping, a few hundred on that. So we are saying that with 100 t-shirts, and we are including all the sizes, we can easily spend about 1,500 at this cost. This is the best quality. The vendor is about 1 to 2% errors and sometimes 0 errors under each order. We have printed thousands of MicroProfile t-shirts. And if we go down, we have not included the stickers in these, only the t-shirts that are the most expensive. And this is the current price for 2021, already ready to go. So if we choose 20 jugs this year alone, maybe 15 because we need to ship internationally, that will match the 25K easily. And that includes a few hundreds of stickers and whatever else we want to send with.
So I keep referring back to the program plan that has content and website being really key pieces of the program for 2021. And it does concern me that we would spend the entire budget on swag and ignore content, ignore the things that are going to to benefit us in 2022. So,
hi, Clark. This is Amelia. So let me explain to you why we're going to thank the community and why we spend so much time on the budget and the distribution.
I understand why you're going to thank the community. I get that. I understand swag. But there's more to a marketing program than just swag.
We understand this, but let me go. Yeah. Sorry about this. Let me just explain to you why it's important in this year. We have a contributor in an entire community. There is a JAG community in Guatemala. Victor took it onto himself to write 13 videos, including all the implementations and the applications, the APIs. And he created 13 videos on his own time, not being paid, on MicroProfile. He could have chose another technology in another program or project in the open source community to do the kind of contributions.
And that's fantastic. So how do we help promote those 13 videos?
That is what we're talking about. Now we're talking with him and
sending him a
saying,
t-shirt doesn't help promote those videos. How do we use this budget to promote those assets that are being created?
And now, this is the conversation that we have with him, that he has been busy, so not been able to attend these calls. But the thing is, he created those videos, and now we are publishing every month twice, I believe. Ryan, correct? Twice they go through the MicroProfile social media. That means LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. But we need to put some money behind that to make sure the individual videos are pushed. And that means we need to invest money in ads.
Okay, absolutely. I'm with you on that. We need to invest in ads. We need to invest in SEO.
Mm-hmm. And the point is that we took away the ads, the Google ads for 2021. So we cannot allocate the money to that. Either we adjust what we withdrew before, because at that time when we withdrew it, we didn't know that he will have the videos created this year, right? That is a decision for the steering committee to decide, because never in the past, MicroProfile has had so much content in Spanish, and now we have contributors in France. They want to do the same. In Africa, they want to do the same. And Victor is the example. And if we treat him with respect and thank him in a manner, like you said, properly distribute that content, that is what gets us farther. The community creates the stuff and we move forward.
And respectfully, Amelia, I think collectively you need to balance here between your ideas and those that have come in by other members of the marketing team to come up with a holistic approach. I say that respectively. There's good voices from all corners here on this virtual table.
Yes.
So there are lots of other content creators. Like I think about, I'm gonna mess up his name, but Rick Peel created lots of MicroProfile content. Now, some of these people charge for that content. Some people, provide it gratis, right? As well on YouTube or wherever. So one thing that we could do is more proactively engage these content creators to actually, reward them, what we've been talking about with swag, and to continue providing content. And we could say, we can help you promote that content.
Yep.
As long as it's not
Yeah.
paid.
Yeah.
I'm assuming there's an issue if they have a paywall to their content.
Maybe we could highlight those authors also, like a monthly highlight, and you just maybe a 2-minute interview with them. You put a post, a big picture saying, hey, this is what, blah, blah, blah. He's the contributor of the month, to help boost the community stuff. At least that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've got to drop too. Sorry, just before you end, I think the next marketing call, we have to get into specifics about how and when we're going to spend this money.
Agreed.
Right? So we've got, a week to have that discussion offline, but we need to have that conversation actively to make sure that we get this spent. And don't forget, we're going to have to run this by the steering committee as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the other thing is the kind of the maybe my book come in the kind of right time, and then we also consider about the promoting the books and promoting all the blogs and videos and etc.
All of it. We have your book. Congratulations, Emily. We have
Thank you.
Two different books that are pro bono, not paid. Actually 4 actually. We have so much. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Apologies. I already said I wasn't able to join, but I'm glad I was able to be here for 20 minutes. Who is going to start a thread? We have a thread going on. Can someone start a new thread? Because I think the thread was about having or not the call, and they got diluted.
I will volunteer to start the thread and then just paste the brainstorm so that other people can join in. To contribute ideas, and at the same time, I think we can also start another thread list all the IPs like books and videos and blogs. So we collectively collect all of them, and we will just seek how to promote it. I do think, we have swag, and we also need to spend a fair amount of money on other, items as well.
I think swag on Emily's book, and don't forget, I've got a book coming out in November. I think we should buy. I think we should buy lots of books. Sorry, I'm just joking. No conflict of interest whatsoever.
Exactly.
Are you, John? Are you
seriously? Well,
please buy my book.
Yeah. So Emily, when you send the minutes, can you add the copy paste of actually the minutes, so that sometimes the extra click is, but can you do that so that everyone that will not see it?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm planned. So basically not just a link to the minutes, basically literally copy here, copy the things that we brainstormed.
Yeah.
All right. And then what's next? Are we going to continue the conversation next week?
Yeah, 11:05, but we cannot hijack that call. It needs to be very specific to say an update of what happened today, right? And Emily, please send this.
And I apologize, I'm going to drop too.
Yeah, me too. I have to go.
Yeah.
Emily, can you send this to the community forum, not the marketing, not the working group? Let's spread that out. All right.
Yeah.
Everyone, thank you so much.
Thank you all. I think it's been a good discussion.
Clark, good to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Yeah. Yeah, nice to meet you, Clark.
Have a great day.
Okay,
You too.
great.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye.